Hold up.
Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Start off with some quick sports. Thursday night football. The Commanders take on the Green Bay Packers tonight at 8:15 p.m. That is on Prime Video. What's up, Mimi?
First of all, I just want to say, yes, I am here. Don't play with me, Envy, because I don't know what you said before y'all let me in the Zoom, but don't play with me. And Mimi, you look pretty. Go ahead.
I was trying to be you. I was like, what's up, Jess? Hi. That's what I did. What's up, Mimi?
All right, y'all. Good morning, Jess. Good morning, Envy.
Good morning.
So we're going to start this morning with breaking news out of Utah, a shocking and deadly shooting involving one of the most controversial voices in conservative politics. 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, the co-founder of Turning Point USA and a loud advocate for expansive gun rights, was fatally shot and killed yesterday while speaking at a debate hosted by his nonprofit at Utah Valley University. Now, a manhunt is still underway. 2 people who were considered suspects were later released, according to police. Now, if you're not familiar with Kirk, he was hugely influential among young conservatives, building Turning Point into a nationwide network on more than 3,000 college campuses and high school campuses. He was also, though, very polarizing, known for spreading election conspiracy theories, opposing gun restrictions, and pushing rhetoric that critics say fueled division. At yesterday's event, he was taking audience questions about mass shootings and gun violence when he was killed. Now, we're going to play the audio leading up to the shooting. I want to warn you, it may be hard to listen to, but we do stop right before we hear the gunshots. Let's listen.
So do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
So right after that, when he says gang violence, a single gunshot rang out. Video circling on social media shows Kirk grabbing his neck as blood pours from his wound. You can also see people panicking, screaming, scrambling for safety. Now, Kirk, he often defended broad gun rights, even saying that some deaths were worth it to protect the Second Amendment. Now, video of that statement is also circulating on social media in the aftermath of his death, sparking a different conversation about gun laws and political extremism. And of course, as news spread, lawmakers on both aisles, they are condemning the shooting, but the blame game has escalated. Fox News host Jesse Waters reacted to the shooting during his show. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Charlie spoke the truth. He said what he felt, and they killed him for it. The message is shut your mouth. And this isn't the first time this has happened. This is just the worst time. They shot Trump. They went to Kavanaugh's house with a rifle. They're firebombing Elon's cars, rioting in L.A. Trans shooters are killing our kids. Hell, Rand Paul got his ribs broken by his neighbor. ICE agents have to wear masks because their families are getting death threats. They're telling us we're at war.
And then there's Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace. She also spoke with reporters right after the shooting. Let's listen to that exchange.
Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated. Just because you speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot.
Then by that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the 2 Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota?
Political.
Isn't this on both sides?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm asking.
We don't know what condition Charlie Kirk is in right now. Some raging leftist lunatic put a bullet through his neck, and you want to talk about Republicans right now? No.
No, I'm asking.
No, not at all.
You said the Democrats have to own it too.
This is on.
But I'm asking,
Democrats own this.
Well, President Donald Trump has ordered flags to fly at half-staff until September 14th in response to Kirk's death. And he called this a dark moment for America and blamed the shooting on the radical left. Envy, what do you think about this? I think that this shooter hasn't been caught yet, so I think our elected officials need to be a little bit careful before we
Absolutely.
Place the blame.
Charlamagne's here now as well. I do feel like he's not the gentleman wasn't a politician, right? He wasn't a lawmaker. He had an opinion. Whether you believed his opinion, whether you liked his opinion, whether you disliked the opinion, part of being in this country is the right of free speech. And the fact that he was shot and killed and he has 2 kids and he has a wife is absolutely positively sad. And I don't believe in that. You know, you should be able to say what you want to say, whether people like it or love it or hate it. But the fact that you have an opinion and you're killed for it is very disgraceful. And I feel sorry for that man's family. He has 2 kids. It's just disgusting in America, to me. That's how I feel. Charlamagne?
I just sat down. Give me a minute.
Well,
Why do we have to
I
start
mean,
this show at
hello,
6
how you
a.m. all the
doing?
time? Exactly.
Well, that's the time
to
to start.
bit.
I literally just said that.
What's up, Jess?
Yeah, I don't really know enough about Charlie Kirk to have an opinion about the things he said when he was alive. All I know is that I did hear that he had a family, and he was taken away from them simply, and that's messed up.
Sad.
So my heart goes out to his children and his wife, but he's gone now, and so everything that he was judged for or saying or whatever, I mean, that's all over. That really don't matter now because he's not here.
Well, we're also following another shooting, sadly, this one out of a high school in Colorado, about 30 minutes outside of Denver. Authorities there say a student opened fire yesterday at Evergreen High School. That's just around 12 p.m., wounding 2 students before turning the gun on himself. Now, police confirmed the shooter died from a self-inflicted gun wound. 3 students in total were rushed to the hospital. 1 remains in critical condition. Another is stable. And a 4th student was treated for other injuries. Now, after the shooting, the school went on lockdown. Officers, of course, they swept the campus. Students were evacuated and parents were reunited with their children at a nearby elementary school. The FBI and the ATF are assisting. The motive is still unclear, and the suspect's identity has not been released. So we're just seeing, this was in Colorado. This was right outside Denver, or about 30 minutes outside Denver yesterday.
All right.
I just sat down. Do we have to start the show at 6 a.m. every day? Like,
Yes.
can we maybe 6:03?
You knew that. Y'all been
6:04?
doing this for the last 15, 16
I know,
years.
and you know what?
already
The
know
older
that.
I get, I want to adjust things. For moments like this, like you just walk in and it's just heavy immediately off the top. I got to get my
Well,
bearings.
you'd have been here at
You're
6
right.
shows.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yes, we
You're
started
right.
smooth. We
You're
talked
right.
about the
Yeah,
dogs. We played some
absolutely.
music.
What dogs?
Yes.
My dogs, whatever. My dogs pooped on this morning. I had to clean up.
Charlamagne,
But anyway,
nobody care about your dog.
What about your damn like what dogs?
we had a
You got
nice
dogs?
conversation. Jess came in. She was telling it like it was nice, and then you just
Did we tell him Mehdi Hassan gonna be here this morning?
we did that.
Okay, did you tell him we taped it yesterday though? Just to be sure, we taped it yesterday. That's
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, we taped Mehdi yesterday. I just want everybody to know that.
And you know what?
Because of all of these different current events that have happened, I don't want to think that we're not discussing
Yeah.
them. Good morning, Mimi. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Charlotte. I'm
Yes.
good. How are you?
I'm blessed, black, and highly favored.
Greg,
Good morning, Jess.
Grab my phone charger. You know how phone chargers up here. Charlamagne's using my phone charger. I want to make sure because Loren stole his. I want mine back. Get it off your
Lauren
chest.
Stay still in charge. She
800.
stole my laptop charger, my job,
She
my
did?
everything.
Damn.
God damn. Yeah, go ahead.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. 800-585-1051. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get back to some front page news. Now, tonight, the Commanders take on the Packers at 8:15. So you can see that on Prime Video. What's up, Mimi?
All right, good morning. So today marks 24 years since the September 11th attacks that took nearly 3,000 lives. And across the country, communities are honoring the victims and first responders with ceremonies, moments of silence, and a National Day of Service. In New York, the names will be read at Ground Zero. In Washington, there's a ceremony at the Pentagon. And in Pennsylvania, families will gather at the Flight 93 National Memorial. Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife are expected to attend the New York ceremony, and authorities say security will be heightened around all official events. So we want to honor the victims of 9/11 this morning.
Absolutely.
And we are learning a lot more about Vice President Kamala Harris's time inside the Biden White House. She's holding nothing back inside her new memoir, 107 Days. In excerpts released to The Atlantic, Harris opens up about the tense months leading up to Joe Biden's decision to seek re-election. She says deferring to Biden and letting him and First Lady Jill Biden decide on their own wasn't just risky. She calls it recklessness. Now, according to Harris, advisors repeated some of the same lines over and over again. It's Joe and Jill's decision. But looking back, she says the stakes were too high to leave that choice to an individual's ego or an individual's ambition. She also reveals deep frustration with Biden's inner circle, accusing some staffers of feeding negative stories about her to the press and refusing to defend her publicly. Now, Harris says that while Republicans labeled her the border czar and attacked her work, Biden's communications team rarely corrected the record or pushed back. And when reporters criticized her laugh, her tone, even her dating history, Harris writes she got little support from inside the White House, saying at times it felt like Biden's team decided I should be knocked down a little bit more. Now, despite all of that tension, Harris does make it clear that she stood by Biden against Donald Trump, writing that even on his worst day, Joe Biden was better than Donald Trump on his best. So
yeah, listen, I cannot wait to read her book, 107 Days. I'm actually checking in my mailbox every day because I was supposed to get it sent to me yesterday. But this is the honesty she should have showcased during the campaign. I wish she would have broken away from Biden like this while she was campaigning, like that one line on The View when she said she wouldn't do anything different than Biden. I feel like that's what really ruined her. But I'm happy about what she is sharing in this book. I'm happy about what I read in The Atlantic yesterday because maybe it will give the Democratic Party the nuts to throw that old regime under the bus. I keep saying over and over, whatever the future of the Democratic Party looks like, you got to throw that whole old regime under the bus, especially President Biden.
And I wonder what changed. I wonder what made her say now is the time I'm gonna start doing this because I feel like she
don't
should
got
have
no
did it a long
choice.
time ago.
If you sitting there, if you don't have nothing to lose, and if you're sitting down writing the book, you have to be honest. Not to mention, you can't keep telling people they did not see what we all saw. I read the original Sin by Jake Tapper. Before I read the original Sin, we was up here having those conversations, and people was giving handing us our ass because we would be saying those things about President Biden. So I know she dealt with it on a real level. If you got Corinne Jean-Pierre saying things like we can't be blindly loyal to the party anymore and I'm an independent now, the vice president, she was way closer to him than everybody else.
Does she not run again? Because that means she lied to the American people, right? That means all the things that we wanted her to do, she really felt like doing, but she said the total opposite.
I don't think this is about her running again.
But still at the same time, right, if she had separated or even went against him earlier, still being his vice president, wouldn't that like mess with her safety? Wouldn't that would have cost her so much?
I don't think so because he was such an unpopular president.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think he was such an unpopular president. No,
I think people didn't like him, and I think they wanted a reason to like her more. And I think what her riding with him made people not like her just as much as not liking him.
Absolutely. So I think this book, if it's anything like this little excerpt we saw in The Atlantic, it should give the Democratic Party the nuts to throw that old regime under the bus because they got to build something new.
Yeah. That article in The Atlantic is really good. If you guys get a chance to check it out, her book 107 Days is scheduled to be released on September 23rd. So we want to keep a lookout for that. And while Kamala Harris opens up about her own struggles inside the White House, there's another conversation happening about the challenges that Black women are facing in the economy right now. Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley says the Federal Reserve needs to step up. A new jobs report shows that 319,000 fewer Black women are employed now than in July, pushing unemployment for Black women up 1.3%. Now, Pressley says this just isn't about the Black community. It is a warning sign to the U.S. economy. Black Information Network anchor Andrea Coleman, she sat down with the Congresswoman earlier this week and to talk about the impact of these numbers. Let's hear what she had to say.
All Americans should care because Black women throughout history have been the canaries in the coal mine. This alarming spike in Black women's unemployment rate to 6.7% compared to overall unemployment of 4.3%. This is the highest in 4 years. And again, it's just further evidence of Donald Trump's irresponsible and chaotic economic policies. And, I do believe it is also discriminate, precise, and targeted harm.
Yeah, Pressley went on to say that there's another layer. She wants the Federal Reserve to start tracking employment data specifically for Black women. Without accurate numbers, she argues policies can't create real solutions to prevent further job losses. Now, this comes as overall job growth has slowed nationwide. Employers added just 22,000 jobs in August. But for black workers, the impact of that is even sharper. Unemployment jumped to 7.5% compared to the 4.3% nationally. Now, Presley also points to other factors that are making the situation worse, including cuts to diversity and inclusion programs, loss of thousands of federal jobs, and the growth of AI in hiring, which experts say is disproportionately affecting black applicants. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. She's tying it into politics, raising concerns after President Trump tried to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. She calls that firing a broader rollback of the black leadership in the highest level of government. So she says, again, this will affect the whole economy, saying job losses that hit black women first, the ripple effects are eventually felt throughout the country. So we will keep an eye on that.
You know, I've always said that when people have these comments about protecting black women, you know, providing security for black women, a lot of that security got to be financial. You know what I'm saying? When the last time you put a check in a black woman's pocket? You know what I'm saying? When the last time you provided a black woman an opportunity if you have the ability to do that? When the last time, you know, you gave a black woman a job? Like, you know, people just be getting on their podcasts and getting on their YouTubes and giving these long soliloquies about protect black women and blah, blah. I don't hear your lip service, man. What's up with that money? Run that check.
Put some action behind those words.
That's right. All right.
So, and really quickly, lastly, if you live in New Mexico, there's some news that could save your family thousands of dollars. Starting this November, the state will become the first state in the country to offer free universal child care for every family, no matter your income. The governor there says the goal is to give parents financial relief, keep more people in the workplace, and make sure every child has access to quality care. Under the program, families would save about $12,000 per child each year. The state will either cover your child care altogether or reimburse you for the cost. The move is expected to lift tens of thousands of people out of poverty. I love this. I think this is something every state should be working towards. So.
Word.
All right, well, that's your front page news. I'm Mimi Brown. Follow me on social at Mimi Brown TV. And for more news coverage, follow the Black Information Network or download the free iHeartRadio app and visit BINnews.com.
All right, thank you, Mimi.
Thank you, Mimi.
Thank you.
Hold up. Every day I wake up. Wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?